What up, y'all? I'm back with another video, trying another one with no glasses on. And yeah, just back with another albums I recommend video. The 29th of this series, I believe. And I actually have almost enough to do two in one video, but I never do at least I never do 20 albums or 20 projects in one video. So expect another albums I recommend video coming soon. And I have not forgotten about any album that's been on my list for 2023 or any of the albums that I promised that I'd review this year and last year in 2022. I have not forgotten about any of those albums that I said that I was going to review tardily, especially one from 2020 or two from 2020. I have not forgotten about those albums. I don't think I ever even named them actually, what the albums were. So I know what they are. I might have named at least one, but there are two for sure that I know I did not name. And that one album that I think that I named is from it's not from 2020. I'll just say that. But yeah, back for another albums I recommend video with the 29th installment. I'm pretty sure. And I only have 9 actually, so I have to borrow from what would be maybe the 30th installment. I'll see when I freaking upload this freaking video, and y'all will see, of course. But let's go ahead and get started. I actually want to start with the album that I need to mention since it's not on the list and it's on the other list. I thought I had 10 art in this list, but I only have 9. So let's see. Dave Lombardo with Rites of Percussion. Dave Lombardo is a freaking music legend, especially in metal. He is best known for being the drummer in Slayer, the one of the big four in heavy, well, no, thrash metal. The other three being Anthrax, Megadeth, and Metallica. And this is a pretty good album. It's really fun to listen to. Um, Certain activities might happen during this. While listening, I'd recommend certain activities be done while listening to this album. I'll put it that way. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the other 9 now that I'm back on the original list. The first album I want to talk about is actually an album as well. It's Streetz and Big Ghost Ltd with Wasn't Built in a Day. I hope it really wasn't built in a day, and I forgot to put Rome wasn't built in a day. But yeah, Streetz, just a continuation of dropping quality project, whether it be a solo album or a collab album with the producer or another artist and producer. Yeah, and Big Ghost Limited just also keeping it consistent and just dropping what I expect from him as far as on the production credit, whether it's with this artist or any other artist that's associated with Streetz, and artists who aren't, but of course are still hip hop artists. And I want to say, why do I want to say Big Ghost branches out as well? I want to say I saw a project from him not earlier this year, but maybe last year, where it was like, I've never heard of this artist, but I know who Big Ghost is. So it's like, huh, okay. Or it might have been where it was like, I don't expect this collab, but I know who Big Ghost is, and I know who the other artist is. But again, it's been a while, and but he did drop a project with Khan back in 2021. Big Ghost did, and Khan, of course. Well, anyway, that's enough. But check this album out. I'm sorry, y'all. The next project I'm talking about is Painting Houses with UFO and Spanish Ran. Spanish Ran, I feel like I've been up on him since like 2017 at this point. Since 2017 at this point. UFO, if it's Fev or Feb, I swear in this project Fev actually said it himself, like he pronounced it. So if I'm still fucking it up, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Twin. He called me that personally, so I'll call him that myself. I'm sorry, Twin, but I'm not sorry for recommending this project though. Fev, man, Fev, UFO. The UFO is just, I mean, he's flying high. He's doing it once again, like the other artists mentioned on this. UFO is in a similar realm. You could associate him with Streetz for sure. Now, the next project I'm talking about is Yazmin Lacey with Voice Notes. This is a project that you want to get into if you're looking for something that's jazzy, neo soul type, that type of thing. And this sister, like, she's just on it. That's what I forget how I even came across this album. Actually, you know what? No, no. I want to say I remember where I was, what channel I was watching, and who was in the room with me. Actually, I think I remember exactly where I was. I don't think I found this album off of Spotify. I think I remember seeing the song, whatever song it was that I was listening to or that popped up on the screen, and I just said, "That's let me check this out." Then I see, oh, this sister's got an album out already, and yeah, now I'm here recommending it. Like I know at least what months later at the very least. Let's see. Now, the next project I'm talking about is I Am. I we I EYE Am. Jesus, Mistah F.A.B's project. Mistah F.A.B is, you know, in like before 2020, it might have been like 2016, 2017. I feel like I remember reviewing an album from Mistah F.A.B. It might still be up on my channel. It might not. But Mistah F.A.B is an OG. Like a straight up OG. Gives it like he sounds how you would expect an OG from where he's from, particularly like and where he comes from. Um, and just from what you expect, if you already have an ear for what he sounds like, then or what he might sound like. The reason I say that is because the next artist that I'm going to recommend reminds me of him, and it's fitting that they're both in the same albums I recommend series, well, video. But yeah, what album was it? Mistah F.A.B. What? Son of a Pimp Part Two. Yeah, Son of a Pimp Part Two, back in 2017, 2016. I remember listening to that album, and I remember reviewing it actually, but there was a while ago, like in 2022, like it was a long time ago. Uh, it was a maybe it was 2021 actually, where I just 2021 somewhere in 2020 to 2021. It wasn't 2022. I deleted so many of my old reviews, and I think Son of a Pimp Part Two was one of them. I think I haven't gone down my channel in a while to see what I've still kept up because I only want certain videos up. Like I only want certain albums up. Like you'll notice I don't have an album unless Forever is a mighty long time. But Big Crit is up. I don't have an album on here that I talk about, whether discussion, summarization, review, whatever, recommendation. I don't talk about anything that I don't like. And I don't know why I'm getting so interpersonal right here. I need to start editing videos. I know that though. And I know that I need to recommend this next album, Serpent, by Kool Keith and Real Bad Man. Real Bad Man, he did a collab project with Boldy James, I remember. Um, hold on, it's right here. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, he did that collab album with Boldy James. Was it Killing Nothing? I feel like it was another project that he did with Boldy. Um, Real Bad. That's what it was. Real Bad Boldy. Yeah. That was like my first real introduction into uh, Real Bad Man. And as far as Kool Keith goes, like I said about Mistah F.A.B, if you know who he is, if you have the ear for him, then it's what you'd expect at this point. But if you don't, just expect a brother from the old school to be flowing on older sounding beats, but they don't exactly sound like they're recorded on old software. And the artists themselves, don't sound like they're stuck. In a sense, they stay true to themselves and their younger selves, like when they were first coming out, like probably their most popping in those years. But they don't exactly sound like they are recorded on old software. So yeah, software. Jesus Christ. And yeah, now this next album that I'm talking about, I was kind of, and I'm gonna do it anyway. I don't know why I'm acting like this. I'm going to talk about Cuts and Bruises by Inhaler. And really, honestly, what can I say? This is the one album on here where I was like, do I want to talk about it or do I just want to review it? Because very rarely do I recommend an album and then later on decide I'm going to review it. Usually it's been like it's an album will stay in the albums I recommend if it even gets there at all. I feel like it's rare for me to put an album that I'm gonna review in albums I recommend series because it's like I just know then. But it takes time and you need time, of course. Like not just the album, but you gotta find time to be listening and stuff. It's like especially with certain albums, right? With certain albums it's like this one in particular, we'll see how it goes because yeah, it's rare that I talk about an album and then review it later on, but it has happened. I forget which one, but I know it's happened at least once. And this might be one of those. Inhaler is a rock band out of Ireland, and they're all around my age, early to mid 20s, and um, they just hit. They just hit. What can I say? Like, this shit is just good. One of my favorite songs of the year is from off of this album. It's "If You're Gonna Break My Heart," which is just mm. If you're gonna break my heart, smash it to pieces, 'cause I'm not gonna need it as much as I do right now. That shit is just, man. Check this album out. Inhaler, Cuts and Bruises. That's all I'm gonna say. Next we have, oh jeez, why's my phone doing this to it, brother? All right. Next we have Sunny War with Sunny War with Anarchist Gospel. Now, I will say this. That title by itself is like, okay, what are we about to get into here, really? Anarchist Gospel from a sister too, who looks like has that kind of vibe on, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know what an anarchist is, and I don't even necessarily mean like when anarchy is happening. I mean like somebody who might know what I'm talking about, like the philosophy itself, anarchism. It's like, okay, and we get this album from this sister that is bluesy, heartbreakish, and you could say that's one in one, but not really. There's that blues sound, but then there's that heartbreak where it's like it's almost heard in any kind of delivery. It just so happens to fit with this sister. And I'm not talking about her delivery when I say almost any kind. I mean with certain attempts or certain songs from just artists in general, or not in general. But I hope you know what I'm trying to say. I'm a little, zooted. And let's see. Next we have Fly Anakin with Skinemaxxx. Let me not leave out the producer right here. Let me see. Yeah, Fly Anakin and my boy Foisey. Side A. Okay, so yeah, Fly Anakin and Foisey. Skinemaxxx side A. Foisey, my first very memorable interlude to him was Foisey's interlude off of Fly Seafoods. Fly Seafoods. I'm sorry. It was all, I didn't want to spoil it, but I guess now I am spoiling one of the albums that I'm gonna review from 2020 from Fly Seafoods, with Fly Anakin and Pink Seafood. That was the album. Fly Seafoods dropped in like 2020, November of 2020. And that song that he had, it wasn't even freaking, well, Pink was featured at the end of the song. But that was freaking, who was it that was featured on that shit? Silk Money. He killed that freaking track. And so did Anakin, of course. I mean, Anakin. So did Pink, of course. I flip from calling that brother Pink or just seafood. Sometimes seafood, just to have fun with it. But yeah, Foisey's interlude was my first real introduction, like very memorable introduction to Foisey. And Anakin, I'd known about Anakin for some time. I like with Big Kahuna OG, like a year or two prior to this being released. But this, right? Fly Seafoods was the like real introduction. And Skinemaxxx, it's also a very good project. It's feels like almost like a mixtape drop and still fly like Anakin, like Foisey. And last but not least, we have Jeleel. This was honestly my first time being introduced to Jeleel. I had never heard of him before this. But yeah, Real Raw. That's the name of his project. And this is a very high intensity, and I don't mean high intensity like, oh, rough and in your face and rugged and disrespectful. I don't mean that. Or depending on if you have a stick up your ass, it might be. But if that's the case, then Jeleel is just a high energy, good vibes, like let's fucking go type of dude. That's who he is on the mic. From what I've seen, at least on like a short on YouTube, he seems to be that way off the mic, but still on camera. But that's who he seems to be in person as well. And he chooses the beats to match his energy. My God. Let me. What was that one song actually where I was like, geez, man. Man of the year. Man of the year. Yo, I'm saying this right now. If you're gonna have a song titled Man of the Year, it just has to slap. Schoolboy had Man of the Year. Rich Homie had Man of the Year. Like so many dudes with the track Man of the Year, and they all hit, right? If you're gonna have the track called if you're gonna have a track titled Man of the Year, it has to slap. It's almost like if you have Face in your name, you have to slap. I mean, with the exception for me of Blueface, it's like, yo, Scarface, Ghostface Killer, you gonna have Face in your name, you better fucking hit. And Jeleel freaking hit with Man of the Year. I'll say this. Maybe call him Jeleel Face, cause yeah, and just the album cover alone like signifies, like just gives that lets you know what this album's gonna be like. Like, Jesus. And did he release another one? Okay, that was just a single. Wahala. Back in August. Um, not so long ago, in August of this year. Already in September. Damn. But that's it, y'all, for this albums I recommend video. If you've liked it, I'm sorry it went on so long. It didn't need to. Like I said, I was just a little. Maybe if I get another albums I recommend video out to y'all quick enough, not quick enough, but soon enough, I'll have it, uh, downsized. And I mean that as far as maybe an edit, and I also mean that as far as just trying to record it more and being a little more down. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new and like the content that you see. Let me know about the albums if you've checked them out and if you like them or not. And definitely recommend albums to me, of course, in the comment section below. And that's pretty much it. Thank y'all for watching. I love you, and I will see y'all next time.